Okay, we're set.
Hi, Barbara.
Hello, Joe. Getting ready for the season, I'm sure.
Yeah, you see us out there getting ready for Bronx Week, right?
Right. Okay, let me see if we have anybody. So far, we have 16, okay. And Norberto is with us, good, from DDC. All right.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, 1, 2. Seeing if we have a quorum. 3, 4, I believe so. Okay. I would like to get started. It's 6:33. I believe we have a quorum. We'll check that in a couple of minutes. Welcome, everybody, to the May Community Board 7's Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs Committee. I'd like to start with reading our guidelines. Okay, good evening. My name is Barbara Stronzer, and I'm Chair of the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs Committee. The committee's agenda I will put up in a few minutes. On September 2nd, 2021, Governor Kathy Hochul signed into law Chapter 417 of the laws of 2021, which authorizes the community board to run this meeting remotely, and minutes will be taken for record keeping. The minutes will appear on our website within days and can be requested from Bronx Community Board 7 staff at any time. If you are calling into the meeting, the following controls for a landline or cell are as follows. To hear all available commands, enter ** on your phone, *6 to mute or unmute yourself, *9 to virtually raise your hand. We will run this meeting as follows. This is our code of conduct. Bronx Community Board 7 has the right to remove and ask a member of the public to leave a meeting or block participation of anyone who engages in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or offensive images or language, personal attacks, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting. Repeated offenses will be reviewed by the board's executive committee or any other assigned committee for a ban. The amount of time to be objectively determined by the above committee of the participant in the event of repeated disruptive behavior. If in-person outbursts or attacks continue, this will be considered disturbing the peace and the authorities will be summoned. Everyone beside the speaker presenter will stay muted throughout the meeting. After each presentation is over, I will inquire if committee members have questions. Committee members will signify that they have questions by pressing the raised hand button on your screen or request to speak through the chat or when the chair opens the floor. Members of the public who have joined through the online link will be able to ask questions and make a brief statement on the item after each presentation and after the committee has had the opportunity to ask clarifying questions by pressing the raised hand button on your screen or request to speak through the chat or when the chair opens the floor. Only those recognized by the chair of the committee will be allowed to speak during the allotted time. We will stay on topic with the agenda items. Any other items will be acknowledged by the chair in new business or addressed at the next meeting, granted there is time and the committee agrees on the topic. Following the questions, discussion, and public comment portion, the committee will begin their discussion after each presentation or agenda item and will conclude with the decision to vote on a recommendation. When the agenda is finished, the meeting will be adjourned. If there are any questions related to meeting software or to the process, please use the chat function or raise hand function now or contact the district manager. Okay. All right. So from there, we will move on to attendance. All right, Barbara Stranger is here. Lurs Acosta,
Notice Acosta present.
It's so chubby.
thank you. Tasha Andrews,
Tasha Andrews present.
thank
One
you.
test. How did your cue check easy step by step?
Betty Arce? Betty,
Present. Betty Arce present.
thank you. Okay, Daisy Perry,
Daisy Perry present.
thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed, Gwendolyn,
Gwen Thomas Steed present.
thank you. And Ruth Caraballo,
Ruth Caraballo present.
thank you. Good. We have everybody. That's important. All right. Okay, from here, let's see. We will put up the minutes from last month's meeting. All right, I'll slowly move through them. We talked a little bit about summer staffing, but Joe wasn't sure yet, so we'll leave that for this month. We talked about the trash collection. We followed through about news from our recreation centers. We had friends groups present. They gave their reports on what's happening. And we mentioned the car-free day on Marshall Parkway for April 23rd. All right, do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented? Anybody?
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
All right,
Gwen.
Gwen, and somebody second
Ruth,
it?
Ruth
Tasha.
seconds the motion.
Sasha, okay. All in favor to accept the minutes?
Aye.
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 Yes, thank you. Minutes approved. All right, we'll move the agenda. Then previous month, we will follow up when we get to summer staffing. New business, we have someone from the Department of Design and Construction with us tonight, and we are going to get an update on the area around Van Cortlandt Park, where they were constructing a golf driving range, and it was the structure that was above the filtration plant. All right, so Norberto, are you the one who's going to present?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Barbara. Thank you. I'm actually looking for some of my colleagues. I'm not
Okay.
seeing some of them on the call yet.
I have
Is-
a number here, that ends in 286. It's a 419. Can you identify yourself, please? 419-517-286.
Not letting me unmute for some reason.
Okay,
Maybe it's being controlled by the person. Let me go. Let me try to get in.
okay, you're unmuted now. Can you tell us who you are?
Did hear you.
Can you hear me now? You're unmuted, we can hear you. Norberto, is it?
Yeah,
someone-
let's, is
Roberto,
Carla?
do you hear me?
Yes. But are you on the Zoom call or are you on a Teams call? Sorry, everyone.
Okay. Roberto?
So I think what's happened here is we had some folks get a link for a Teams that just kind of automatically popped up when I forwarded the Zoom link to them. So I'm going to try to square that away. If you want, why don't we, I think Carla, you have the presentation, correct?
Yes, I have it here.
Yes, we do have the
You
presentation.
want me to put it up?
Sure. Why don't we put that up and let's see if I can go through some of this and kind of keep your meeting going. And we'll see if some of my partners can get on the call soon.
Okay, Carla, do you want to put it up?
Sure, yes, I can.
Okay, good. Okay, we'll just wait a minute for Carla to put that up.
Right. Apologies, everyone. I have way too many things downloaded.
Got it? Okay.
All right, yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Go ahead, Roberto.
Sure. So I'm sure most of the group on this call is aware of the what we call internally as the Croton above ground structure. This is basically the structure being built over or around, I should say, the edge of the DEP water filtration plant. And this project we can actually scroll down a little bit. These are all the partners from the city and other agencies that are involved in this project over the years. Of course, the Bronx Community Board 7, as well as your partners at Community Board 8 and 12 over the years. Actually, it's been a while that we've even heard from, I don't know if the FMC is still around or if that's a thing anymore, but there was the facility monitoring committee that we last came to give an update, which was pre-COVID. I think it was 2018 or 19.
Right.
So that was like the last big meeting we had. So fast forwarding till now, we can scroll down a little bit to the agenda there. So of course, welcome. So this project, it's been one of the few DDC public buildings capital projects that actually did not stop during the pandemic. You could actually put on the project summary screen so everyone can have a look at that. This was, it was good for the schedule of the project, of course, but it was also a challenge in that even during COVID, it was, certain things were readily available to help with schedule as far as construction materials. And then as we got through more of the year of 2020, things started to get a little bit slower in supply chain issues and availability of people, and then just scheduling. So there was a slowdown, even though we did not stop work. We could not have workers working all at once in different utilities and things of that sort working in the same space for COVID protocol. So things were slow. So on this slide, you'll see that this is there's quite a scope. We are building the golf tee for the and then the golf clubhouse for the golf tees. We're going to get to some images of that. We have DEP as the sponsor agency, which it basically means the agency responsible for funding this project. You have this Department of Design and Construction as the managing agency to oversee the design and construction process. Once this is complete, the Department of Parks will be the owner, and we have our architect, Grimshaw, which I was hoping is on the call soon, or if not already, that was going to help explain some of these slides. Our general contractor that's hands-on doing the work, and then our construction manager. This is a group that manages the construction process. We can scroll down. So we have, a general scope of work, which had, when we first started, there was a lot of excavation that had to happen. And in doing so, we encountered a lot of rock. So rock is very difficult to get through. So it really did stifle the progression of work. But we were able to manage to get past that. Those of you that live and work in the area that have walked by could certainly see the progression. We're at a much better place now than we were even 6-9 months ago. We can scroll down to the next set of slides.
Excuse me, Norberto.
Sure.
This is Lou Volpe. I finally got in.
Okay, thanks, Lou. There's a little bit of feedback. I don't know if you're on 2 different devices.
Hang on one second. I am so sorry about that.
Apologies, everyone. It's the world we live in these days with technology. It doesn't always work well for us. But Lou Volpe is I'm glad he's on the call. Once he's able, if we have any deeper questions on any of these slides, he can certainly help speak to that in more detail. While he's getting ready, I'll kind of give you an overview of some of these slides. So the one right in the middle here, current progress. The image on the left is actually a rendering of the finished product. The image on the right, you'll see more of the current look of what that site will look like, or what it looks like now as compared to what it will. We'll scroll down to the next. So we have a lot of progress on the outer part and perimeter of the project. You're looking here at this exterior cladding, this stonework. This is all, again, Lou, if you can get on, you can explain where this, what type of stone this is. I'm not sure if it's bluestone or not, but this is kind of wrapping the whole structure from one end to the next. We can slide down to the next slide. Thank you. So this is just giving you an insight of the structure. So what's going to happen, and we'll show you more of the renderings of this, but the slide on the right, you're seeing kind of the skeleton of what will be kind of wrapped in glass walls, basically, that will be the kind of entrance to this facility. Could be I think it's going to be more like a snack bar and sign up area for all the golf tees for the driving range. On the left there is just the work that's happening just behind the walled off area in the distance on the right picture. So that's going to be, I believe that's the locker room and bathrooms that are starting to get the metal studs and all the plumbing work put inside. We can go to the next slide. And what you're looking, excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold, not COVID. The tee boxes on the right there, you're looking at, and again, I think Lou may be better able to answer how many there are. I'm not exactly sure. But if you see the rebar studs coming out of the concrete base with the caps on them, I think in between those, every interval, those are where the tee boxes will be for individual golfers on the driving range. And that stretches just out of sight there in that picture. And the image on the left is the roof of this structure. And you can kind of get a sense of, if you look at the tee box picture on the right, and you see there's a wall on the right that slopes down into the distance. If you were to walk to that edge where you could go over to the other side of the wall, you could walk back up this ramp almost. That's the picture on the left showing this will be a green roof. And at the other end of it, if you walked all the way to the top, you'd be standing on top of the structure that we saw in the previous picture, overlooking the entire park and the driving range itself. We can move to the next slide. And what you're looking at here, excuse me, on the right image is looking, you can't tell, but it's kind of looking downhill slightly. We have regraded, and this will be a driveway access from the street. From Jerome Ave, you would come into and make a left basically and come up a hill. And that takes you right up to as close you can get to the structure. And there's kind of a turnabout. And then if you can imagine looking at the left side, it looks like it's uphill. So you get up to the top, you can drop off passengers, pick up passengers and golf clubs, if you will, and then you circle back down. And then if you look back at the right slide, you circle down the road, and eventually there'll be a surface parking lot in the distance where we currently have our field office trailers. You can go to the next slide, please. And these are some of the renderings of finished products. So the top left is kind of an overview looking from Jerome Avenue at the structure. You'll see that's a driveway access into the parking lot would be to the right, and the drop-off point will be to the left. The top right image, we kind of showed that at the beginning. That is looking directly at the structure itself and where you would enter to schedule your tee time, and there's a snack bar there. There's also, as you can see, some little bench stadium seating that is there for those who'd like to just watch. The bottom left image is looking from within the structure, and that's that glass wall that I referred to. And these are folks in the distance, just outside the glass wall. That's where you can walk by towards the tee boxes. And then the bottom right, also a bit of both. You have an image of the inside of the glass enclosed snack bar area, and then the outside folks walking towards the tee boxes. And that basically concludes this presentation. And let's see if I can help answer any questions. Again, if any of my teammates are out there from DDC or Grimshaw or Lero, please chime in if you could.
Okay. Thank you. All right, call it. Okay, good. I have a question first about timing. How long do you expect before this construction project will be completed?
So the overall schedule, we're looking at the first quarter, possibly edging to the second quarter of 2023. So next year.
So a year, another year yet.
Yeah, slightly less, but yes, it could be about, 10 months, 12 months away. Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Committee, do you have any questions first? Anybody on the committee? All right. I have one
I see
question.
Serial has his hand raised.
Yes, I see that, but I wanted to ask the.
Oh, I'm
committee.
sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. You mentioned something about the area being glass enclosed. If the community or someone was on the sidewalk on Jerome, would they be able to see any of the golfers? Or anything going on, or is it a enclosed area unless you pay to get in?
It is an area that is accessible to the public, like anyone walking along Jerome Avenue could walk into the site, walk up the slight hill, the upgrade to the golf structure. And so it is open in that manner, but there will be a time when it's closed, of course, that you cannot access the entire facility itself, but the parking area and the ramp to the drop off and pickup area will be open.
24/7?
Yes, that is the way it was
Okay.
designed.
All right. Serial, go ahead if you have a question.
Yes, it looks like a beautiful, wonderful thing to be placed in the Bronx. I appreciate it very much. But I just have a question of what happens when it snows? What happens to the facility?
When it snows, well, that's a good question. You know, the Parks Department has a vendor. They're called First Tee. And First Tee, the company, is charged as a vendor running this facility. So I don't know what their hours will be or how that works. You know, I'm sure if there's piles of snow all over the driving range, it would be difficult to find golf balls until the spring broke. So I imagine that it may not be accessible during the winter, but that's really the end user or vendor question, which I don't have an answer to.
Okay. All right. I see another hand up. Is that you, Betty?
Yeah, just to answer Serial's question about snow, when it snows, usually the golf range is it's closed. You know, they'll close down until they can remove the snow. That's all. No, nothing big. Usually during the winter when it's heavy snows, you don't have many golfers except for those who are really intent on playing even in the snow. So that's how it works.
Do you know what the cost of the project is, Norberto?
We had it on the slide there, and I'd hate to misrepresent it, but I believe, and please check the slide for it. It was
Yes, I shall.
around 83, excuse me, 83 million was the budget for this contract.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, any other questions? All right, I'd like to thank you for the presentation and happy that we're getting very close to having it almost finished within a year. That's good timing, consider the delay due to COVID. And
Yes.
I see a hand, I see a hand. Roxanne, go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask the DGC, please, if this is a bird-friendly building, which is part of local law. And I was trying to look at my email, so I couldn't raise my hand in time.
We can't hear you, Roxanne. I hear. Okay, try again. Go ahead.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, we hear.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
My question is this a bird-friendly building as per the local law 15 of 2020?
That's a great question. I do not have the answer for that, but I will certainly circle back with my colleagues tomorrow and I can send an answer to the community board and let you know. I'm sure, you know, we are meeting a lot of different regulations and local laws for this structure. So I would imagine if it's part of the contract that it would certainly be part of this project.
All right.
But I will
Really
circle
appreciate it.
back. I'll circle back with the community board tomorrow, perhaps Carla, and I will supply her with that answer.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else have a question? It certainly looks like it's going to be a beautiful facility once it's done, and I hope there'll be some type of a program. I know this is your responsibility, that they will attract some young people from the local community to get them interested in golf. But-
Wonderful. And if there are any further questions outside of this meeting, you can certainly ask your community board district manager and staff, and they could get them to me at DDC, and we'll get you some answers.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. The presentation was very informative, and we have a good idea now as to when the work on Jerome will be completed. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, we're going to move the agenda. I believe we have someone here from New Yorkers for Parks. Adam Ganzer, are you on?
I am.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
good, thank you for joining us.
Thank
And
you.
we're very interested in this petition that you had going about the 1% of the city budget to be appropriated to the Parks Department. And this was a campaign promise from our current mayor. And as you know, it didn't happen. So maybe you can tell us where we are right now with the budget for next year.
I can. And again, thank you so much for your time. I'll just give a really quick summary of who we are. For those who don't know, New Yorkers for Parks is an advocacy and research organization. We've been around for over 100 years. Our focus is on equitable access to beautiful parks and open space throughout the 5 boroughs. One of the things we do and how we got connected to your community board is district profiles. And I'm going to put in your chat a link to the profile, the Open Space Index for your community board. If you have any questions on this document at all, please let us know. It's a great resource as you're talking to the different agencies about parks and open spaces in Community Board 7. With respect to the campaign and the budget, New Yorkers for Parks has something called the Play Fair Coalition. That's 400 organizations across the city focused on parks and open spaces. And we were able to get the mayor as a candidate to commit to 1% for parks. He has since recommitted to that 1%. The preliminary budget and then the executive budget did not come through with that commitment, to say the least. There are some important steps in the right direction. He is committed to additional full-time staff on the expense side of the budget, some 700 plus positions. When you net that out with the number of positions that have been lost over the last year, it's really closer to 450 positions, new positions that are full-time, but so not what we need, but certainly a step in the right direction. I think one of the biggest things that we're concerned about right now is that there's something called the cleaning corps or the cleanup corps. These were thousands of positions across the city that were funded through federal dollars this last year. The Parks Department had roughly 1,800 of those but per month over the last year. Those are going to disappear completely at the end of June, at the end of the fiscal year. So while the mayor has taken a step in the right direction, I think the net staffing levels that we're going to see coming into the new fiscal year are giving us some real concern. As far as the commitment to the 1%, we have a petition that is going around right now. It's in your agenda. We would welcome you distributing that to anybody and everybody who is interested in parks. The narrative around parks has changed. COVID has made that possible. And I'll just be really frank about it. New York City has underinvested or disinvested in parks since the 1980s. We have seen the results of that. It has extremely inequitable results across the city. This mayor has realized that that is a critical issue. He's committed to funding at a level that will go a long way to change that. We need to hold him to that commitment. And that's what that petition is starting to do. I'll also mention we're going to have a rally at City Hall in about 2 or 3 weeks. And we have a sign-on letter that is signed by 400 organizations and nearly 25 city council members, again, asking the mayor to stay committed to that 1% promise. I'm happy to take any questions. I'll also mention you're going to get I saw on the agenda you're getting an update from the Parks Department. You know, many of the parks employees that we work with are DC 37 members and longtime employees. They're a big part of our coalition, so we're very, very supportive of the work that they've been doing. And We often refer to them as frontline workers, especially over the last 2 years. They, among all of the people who have been working during COVID, haven't gotten the shout out that they deserve. So very much supporting the Parks Department, and they need more.
Very good, thank you. Do we have questions? I see anybody from the committee first? All right, so at this point, what is the budget like for next year?
The expense side budget, that's maintenance, operations, programming, parks enforcement, patrol, et cetera, all the things that you see that sort of maintain and operate our parks, is at $602 million. That's, just about 0.6% of the budget. That amount will likely be augmented a bit by funding from the city council, although we don't know how much that could be. It's usually in the $20 to $40 million range. And that would put us basically on par with where we were last year, which in some ways is good because the federal money is leaving, but we're staying at that level. In other ways, it doesn't represent a significant step towards the campaign goal of 1%. So that's where we stand.
So in other words, the budget for the expense operation will be what it was last year at this point.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay. All right. Do we have any questions from the committee before we go to the general public? All right. I saw your hand up there, Chad. Go ahead.
Hey, Barbara. Hey, Adam. Thanks for sharing that information today. I'm curious to know from the information that you provided, what positions would be prioritized with the additional net 400 employees or positions? Like, would it be PEP officers? Would it be managers and so forth? And also, would any of the capital and expense budget needs also be prioritized with this new money?
Those are two really good questions. On the positions that are going to be filled, I don't have those. Again, we're a not-for-profit advocacy and research organization, so I don't have the depth of details that you're looking for. But I do know that it would be CPW, city park workers. There's PEP officers included in those staffing lines, gardeners. I believe that there's also a healthy push to increase the number of employees at rec centers, because the hours for rec centers are expanding, so they're needing additional staff lines there. But these positions, in a very good way, they tend to be kind of junior level positions where people can grow into them and advance forward at the Parks Department, which is a very good thing. Very good jobs, steady jobs. And green jobs, as in quotes, as we talk about it. So those are all good things. There's just not enough of them. So we're steering the big boat slowly in the right direction. We just want to keep our foot on the gas. Your second question was about the capital dollars. I don't want to overwhelm folks, but there's a deferred capital maintenance number at the Parks Department that we've worked on with other organizations on, of roughly $6 billion. $6 billion of deferred capital maintenance at the Parks Department. That's retaining walls, drainage, the things that you don't see, the things that politicians won't fund because they can't cut a ribbon around them. I'm being a little bit, facetious there, but that's sort of the hidden agenda. The mayor has put into the budget $488 million for capital. And that's for this year, but it is intended to be renewed each year, which is, again, a very important step because it talks about state of good repair, which is not the language that any administration before this one has used. And it's really, really important. Again, though, the dollar amounts are so small that the impact is going to be minimal, but it's a first step towards that goal, so addressing those problems.
Okay.
Well, thank you for that. The reason I bring up the second question is because from the community board side, when we submit our 25 and 40 questions, a lot of the parks in our neighborhood are on those lists as repeating agenda pieces, such as Frisk Field and DeVoe. So we hope this means that they'll get looked at a lot sooner than later.
You know, I do as well. And I'll say, we are a resource. We work citywide. And so if, to the extent that you want to, please be in touch with us with any of those concerns. I know there's some other parks discussions happening later, of course, at this meeting. But if you're running into, you know, no responses with the city, or you just want to see if we have additional information, please take a look at our website, or you can reach out to us at info@ny4p.org. And we'll see if we can be helpful.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question, Adam. To be supportive of your petition for the 1% of the city budget, what would be best for us to do? To spread the word about signing the petition, or should we send a letter from our community board to the mayor's office stating that we had anticipated that the Parks Department would get 1%. We're very disappointed that they did, but we hope that he will, in the future, increase the budget.
I really, really appreciate you bringing up both of those options, because they are both options we'd love for you to take on. Spreading the petition among your networks is really, really important. We've got close to 3,800 signatures. We'd love to get to 5,000 in the next couple of weeks. We're going to do another major push on all of our communication streams over that time. And a letter from the community board to the administration would be fantastic. And I think it can be pretty simple, the way you framed it. You know, this was your campaign promise. We would like to see you uphold that promise.
Okay. All right. My committee, do we have a motion to send a letter to the mayor's office requesting the increase in the parks budget?
Ruth here, I make a motion.
Okay. Does somebody second that motion?
Tasha seconds that motion.
Okay, who was it that second?
Tasha.
Second.
Okay, Sasha and Gwen. Okay, good. All right, so the motion will remind the mayor of his campaign promises and also the needs of the parks in our district. We have more than a few, and we are really hurting at this point for needed repairs. And we will, follow up and see what can be done. And hopefully, he'll take this into account, and we will also spread the word about the petition. All right, does anyone want to comment on the motion before we take it to a vote? All right. Do you, Chad, or is your hand still up?
Sorry, I'm washing dishes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
All right, so then we'll take this to a vote. All right. Barbara votes yes. Lourdes Acosta? Lourdes, are you on? Tasha Andrews?
Tasha votes yes.
Thank you. Betty Arce?
Betty Arce votes yes.
Thank you. Daisy Perry?
Daisy Perry votes yes.
Thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed?
Gwendolyn Thomas Steed votes yes.
Ruth Caraballo?
Ruth votes yes.
Thank you. All right, the motion carries. So we will put a letter together and bring it to our executive committee and then to a full vote by the board at our next general meeting. Thank you so much for being with us this evening, Adam.
Thank you very much for having me, and thanks for your support. And like I said, if anything comes up, please do reach out to us. And I encourage you to check out the research on your district and citywide. I think it can be helpful, but we're always here.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to summer staffing and maintenance. We have our manager with us tonight, Joe Magnieri. Joe, can you give us an update on what we can expect? I know Joe has been out there on the Parkway getting ready for the finale of Bronx Week on Sunday. Okay, Joe, are you, yes, you're still on.
Yeah, sure have. I gotta say, it was really awesome to hear Adam talk about the support that he's giving to the Parks Department. You know, we're not an essential service, but we try to deliver essential service, essential service quality work to the public, and it becomes very overwhelming. The staff is definitely overwhelmed, and so it was really awesome to hear that presentation. Yeah, so he mentioned the 700, but really when you look at it, it's a net 400. The word is that the Bronx is going to be receiving 100 of those lines. How they get spread out, I know Chad asked the question, like, where are those numbers going to go? I don't have an answer to that, but I do know that the Bronx is looking at a new 100 new employees, new hires, permanent employees to the borough. So that's exciting. The seasonal plan has not been completely rolled out. We have put staff into that regional cutting crew. I don't know if anybody's seen around in the neighborhood. They were doing Jerome Park yesterday. They did Harris Field a little later in the week last week. Williamsbridge Oval was done about a week ago, maybe a little more. So we're very busy cutting grass. The nursery and another division are helping get ready for Bronx Week, which is awesome. Some good news for Williamsbridge Oval. We're looking to purchase some new garbage cans, more like the garbage cans around the center of the park, around the field, the fixed garbage cans. It's a struggle with these garbage cans. We chain them up, and if we happen to not chain them up, they grow legs and they walk away. So we lose a lot of cans. So we are looking to add more permanent cans to Williamsbridge Oval. Marshallow Parkway, you're going to start seeing some new cans. We get these 30-gallon drums, and DCAS actually cut our allotment of cans down by like 100 or something cans for the borough. And so we actually only got 25 cans per district, which sounds like a lot of garbage cans, but when you have as many properties as District 7 has, 25 garbage cans,
You're right. We have about 10 parks, Joe. You know that.
Yeah, no, not only that, but they're large. I mean, Marshall Parkway is a ton of parkland. You got St. James Park, you got Williamsbridge, you got Harris Field. You have large properties that require garbage cans. So we have these 25. We're going to try to allocate them as best as we can. We requested more. We're trying to get more. And then as soon as the pool plan gets settled, because part of our seasonal plan is staffing all the pools, we'll get a lot more clarity on what's coming to the districts. But I think that the cutting crew being out there this early is really going to benefit us. I really hope people really take a look and notice at how we're cutting the grass. I think we're doing really well. We're actually piloting all electric equipment. So in the parks, you'll see electric cutting equipment. And I just saw St. James, somebody said something about St. James Park. St. James Park was actually cut by the tractor this week, and now we just have to trim it. So I just saw something in the comments about that. So I am aware it was cut with the tractor, but the trimming is what needs to get hit. So they'll take care of that.
All right. Do we have any questions for Joe?
All right, I just saw another question.
Okay.
About why it takes so long. As Adam was stated in his presentation, we have District 7 has more maintenance at Central Park. Maintenance at Central Park is it's a conservancy. It's a little bit of a different animal. They have a lot of money. So it takes so long because I hate to say it this way, but we do the best we can with what we have. And naturally we want every park to look like Central Park, but most of our day is spent cleaning litter. Unfortunately, there's a lot of litter that gets left every day. So we do our best. We will get to trimming things. It was cut with the tractor. I do understand that aesthetically it looks way better. It looks way better,
Okay, all right. Any other questions out there? Roxanne?
Yes, thank you, Barbara. My question is, has the hiring for the seasonal workers have begun or is it completed already?
I'm sorry, Barbara.
She wanted to know if the seasonal workers have started as yet.
The hiring.
Oh, no,
hiring.
that didn't happen yet.
Are you waiting for the budget to close first?
Yeah, it didn't happen yet. It didn't. I can't. That's way above me when they start to do that.
Okay, so it hasn't happened then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Joe, do you know whether or not we have a new Bronx Parks Commissioner as yet?
Barbara, you will find out when we get a Bronx commissioner, when I find out. We'll both find
Probably,
out at the
okay.
same time.
Yeah, in the local paper, I'm sure.
Yeah. I won't know
Okay.
until you know, believe me.
Right, okay. I just thought maybe with the season, coming up, that somebody would be named by now, but I guess there's no rush.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else out there have a question for Joe? Okay. Thank you for the update, Joe. We appreciate it. And hopefully next month, you'll be able to tell us more about, how many seasonals will be on or whatever, and we'll take it from there. And I guess, with the cutbacks in parks, it's a very difficult season, especially, with the litter pickup and all. And what can we say? We're in the Bronx and we have a lot of parks in this district and we really need more help.
Yeah, it's just it really can't be denied, It's just for the quality of services that are expected of us, it's very hard for us to deliver that quality of service for what we have. All excuses aside, it's very difficult. It's very hard on the staff, and but you have gentlemen like Adam working for us, and you guys.
Yes,
it's hopeful. A lot of my staff, if they would have heard that presentation, they would have been very happy to hear that there's somebody fighting for them.
Yes, that's good. All right, I see we do have a hand raised. Toby, go ahead with your question.
I wanted to ask Joe, there's a structure in DeVoe Park. They fixed the other house. I guess that's where they have the equipment, but right next to that is a green metal structure. And I wanted to know, why is it there and what is the purpose of it being there?
So as you know, I am not the manager of DeVoe Park, although DeVoe Park falls in the border of District 7. It is not a District 7 property within the Parks Department. So Clinton, I know you have a line with Clinton, right? You have a pretty good line of communication with Clinton.
I keep forgetting that. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, it's okay. And the only thing I could think of, and I mean, I know you guys are the Friends of DeVoe. Is there another community group in the area? Sometimes we give approval for community groups to have, toolboxes and stuff like that to be put in the property.
Not that I'm aware of. It's a huge green structure, so I'll reach out.
Yeah,
So
reach out to
Clinton.
Is this the green structure that is like if you're going down Fordham halfway down in the park?
Barbara, it's on the Father Zizer side, just outside of the basketball courts, next to the house that was repaired this year, and it looks very nice. They repaired the roof. It looks great. But I'm just concerned about how long that structure is going to be there and what it is holding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of an eyesore, but
Okay.
yeah,
All right, I guess you'll have to get in touch with Clinton then.
yes.
Okay. Sorry, we can't answer that one. All right, any other questions for Joe? Okay, Joe, thank you so much for sharing tonight. And
Yeah.
we'll move the agenda to our recreation centers. I believe we have Sarah on from Williamsbridge Oval. Sarah, you're on. Can you tell us what's coming up at the Oval?
Yes, sorry, I'm here.
Okay.
So we have we're really getting ready for the summer, and there's going to be a lot more like special events. There's some concerts coming up next Friday. I can't remember the name of the band, but it's with the Bronx Council for the Arts. So I'll send that flyer out. They just got that to me yesterday. And we have a field day that's going to be happening June 9th. I believe it's a Thursday. The kids are out of school. We will be having also our Family Fitness Festival, which is June 25th. Anyone interested in partnering with that? But keep your eye out. We also have some outdoor movies that are coming, and we're planning for our summer to have even more events and concerts. So I'll send the flyers as we get them. We're also starting our summer sports experience program. So that's going to be, we got 2 employees and their basis is just to be doing sports in the park. So they literally just started this week, and we're going to get a schedule out for the programming that they'll be having.
Okay. Can you tell us anything about the book distribution program that you have?
Oh, yes. So we do have a community library. I mean, that's a lot of people call it the free little libraries. So we have a bookshelf inside of the rec center that is filled with books that we actually get from the Book Fairies. That's a organization. They're based on Long Island, and I found them a few years ago, and they are amazing organization. The way that they get their volunteers, they allow teenagers, and they sort through the books, and they make sure all the books that they give back out, that someone is proud to own it. So it can't be written in, it can't be ripped up. And it's definitely what I find. Whenever they give me books, they're always very nice books. And it's a great organization. And that's why normally we also put out books at all of our events. We put tables outside so that people are encouraged to read. And I think I sent it out to some people. There's a new documentary out, 1.5 million, and they highlighted the book library that we have at our center. And also they highlighted, I don't remember his name, but he started a free little library on, I think over on Jerome. So
Yes, I know who you mean, but I can't remember his name either.
But it's a great documentary. They're really just highlighting literacy in the Bronx. So that's 1.5 million. I'll put the website in. They're trying to get more attention, and they're going to be doing a premiere at the end of the month.
Oh, wonderful. Definitely. All right. Do we have any questions for Sarah? You certainly have many activities planned, and thank you for sharing with us.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Okay. Do we have anyone from Poe Park here tonight? Okay, I believe I have one flyer that we can share. Oh, there's a concert, I believe, this Friday. Yes, 1 minute, I'll put it up. You can take a look. All right, this Friday, I believe, is at Poe Park. And it will be from 12 to 1 p.m. at the Visitor Center. So if you're in the area, it might be something that you would like to hear. And it's all due to, I believe, Bronx Week. Okay. All right, do we have anyone here from St. James Park? All right, and I believe we have, did I miss any other park where we have a rep tonight? Okay, so we have a report from some friends groups. On the agenda, we have the community walk, the health and fitness fair. Do we have somebody on to talk about that?
Yes,
Okay, good. Do you want me to put the flyer up, or do you just want to tell us?
I can just tell you guys.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, this is a special event by Orisha Wholeness. So we are group, community group, geared towards giving free classes, free fitness classes and wellness to the community. So on May 21st, we're having a community walk, health and fitness. So we'll start at 10 a.m. with a walk around Grand Concourse. It's going to be a historical walk. So we're going to be talking about the area for the community. And then we'll come back to Poe Park and we'll have different fitness classes, including hustle, salsa, Afrobeats, and Lindy Hub from someone from Alvin Ailey. So it should be a very nice program. We'll have a children corner where they can play games, they can dance, and different things. So we'll have different community partners. The fire department will be there. Community board 7 will be there. Thank you for coming out. The police department will be there. We'll be giving out some gifts to mothers from this organization called Hope for Us. So it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it should be a nice event. So hopefully you guys will be able to come out.
Thank you so much. It sounds like it's a day full of fun.
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, we'll move on. I see Elizabeth Carranza. Can you give us an update from the Friends of Marshall Parkland?
Yes, I do. I just have a few things, so thank you. Starting May 15th is Sunday. Just want to remind everybody that we are back to the Bronx Day Parade. That's this Sunday at Mashalou Parkway. So please stop by. We will have an informational table there with some resources, and we will be marching on the parade as well as a lot of other groups that are going to be there. The other thing is we do have on May 21st, Saturday, a tree giveaway, and it starts at 10 a.m. It is hosted by New York Restoration Project. And it's going to be at the Keeper's House located behind the Oval, where we're also going to have a sustainability hodgepodge porch sale. And that's a fundraiser that where we sell purposeful items that have been repurposed. That's also at the Keeper's House. Just a reminder to people that we do have a food scraps drop off. So if your building doesn't have a compost program in place, please save your food scraps except for meat and bring them over to the Keeper's House. We have brown bins there, so you can put your food scraps there as well. We do have a new corporate volunteer program. So contact us if you have a business and you want to provide corporate volunteer opportunities for your team, for property managers, or for any resident who's in an apartment building. If you're looking to create a new garden, whether it's a friendship garden or an edible garden, again, contact us with your property manager's contact, and we can actually reach out to them on your behalf and have that conversation. We do continue to encourage solo volunteering on the parkland. We encourage 30 minutes of walking around and taking litter off the parkland. We also have organized community days. So please contact us through our website or through our email. We do have a list of other volunteer opportunities, as well. So to connect with us, we can be, you can email us at marshalluparkline@gmail.com, or you could just go onto our website and just hit contact us.
Okay. Any questions for Elizabeth? Thank you so much. All right, we'll move the agenda. Our next meeting is set for Wednesday, June 8th. And I'm asking what items you would like to have put on the agenda. Please remember that that will be our last meeting before the summer break. And many of our parks take a beating during the summer, especially with the fact that we're always short-handed for help. Would you like me to possibly invite someone from our PEP squad to see what help we can get? I know over the summer, we very often get complaints about loud music, illegal barbecuing, other types of illegal setups in the parks, and possibly bringing them on right before the summer starts might be helpful. Betty, okay, Betty says yes. We have a few hands. Go ahead, Sirio, and then Roxanne.
I would love to see forestry put back on the agenda. I would love to see that letter that we propose be written and sent out. And we're waiting for a person who's never going to be hired to run the Bronx Commission's office. We're losing valuable time here waiting. We have commissioners who are in charge. They should be the ones picking up the slack. I also want to point out that on my visit down the Grand Concourse, the tree pits were being cleaned out and mulched, and all the way close to Marshallu on the Grand Concourse going, of course, south, going downtown. And I wanted to bring that to your attention if anybody didn't notice that. They were cleaning out the tree pits on the Grand Concourse, and I was very proud to see that happening. They look really nice.
That's wonderful because it's much needed up there. It hasn't been touched in quite some time. All right, Roxanne, go ahead, and then Betty.
Thank you. I definitely think you should invite Parks Enforcement Patrol, because not only regarding their need their help, but how they enforce the rules, especially with no barbecuing, because some of them actually ask the group to leave, but others tell them just to turn off the barbecue. They leave, and then the barbecue grill is put back on. So it's how I would like to know how they enforce the rules and to be consistent. Thank you so much.
Okay, Betty, go ahead.
I wanted to echo Sirio's concern and about that we still do not have a Bronx commissioner, and I don't know if perhaps we should then send a letter to our Rodriguez Rosa to see if what is the holdup on naming someone, since our parks are really need that kind of oversight. So I don't know if a letter, if this, I'm introducing another motion for another letter, but I can hold off on that, maybe for our next meeting. We can think about.
I would give it one more month, Betty. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's done by June. Yes, a letter, definitely.
Okay, yeah. And then following up on Roxanne's suggestion, yes, PEP should come and explain their protocols, their procedures for how they go about enforcing all the rules that are broken all the time. And, I know that they're shorthanded, but still, we have to send a strong message about taking care of our parks as much as possible, and
Okay.
yeah, so I agree.
Then I will definitely put PEP on the agenda and get in touch with their personnel so that someone will be at our meeting. Okay, I see another hand. Chad, go ahead.
Yes, hi. So I'm not sure this is something that we should take in parks or sanitation, but I'm noticing that a lot more tree pits are starting to have visible rat burrows where they dig a hole into the ground. And before it gets too much out of hand, I was just wondering if it makes sense to raise the question or bring it offline or bring it to both the sanitation and the parks committee.
Chad.
Some of the,
Chad,
ahead,
I'm sorry,
Joe.
this is Joe. Are the rat burrows you're speaking of on Parks property?
that was my next point. Some of them are and some of them are not. Like
Yeah.
if it's in the pit, but in the sidewalk, then it's just a matter of where it is. But I'm seeing them in both places, on park and off park.
Yeah, so I think you're in contact with Clinton as well, right? So when you
No,
see those,
I haven't
no,
spoken to him yet on that. No.
no, I'm saying, but you are in like you have a line of communication with him, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so when you see things like that, just let him know, and we could put a request in for the exterminator.
Okay.
And Chad, for those
Yeah.
tree pits not on park, that is not a sanitation issue. That is a Department of Health issue. But we should, I think that there is a definitely a confluence between sanitation and rat, the whole issue with rats. So there's something to be considered and to look at. How that gets addressed, I don't know. That's something that we need to raise. But tree pits wouldn't that be forestry, Joe? Anyway, whether it's a park or not?
Not necessarily. If it's like a tree pit on the street, but I mean, if you're walking in the park and it's but if it's just like a street tree, we're not going to send an exterminator to handle that.
So Joe, if it's on private property, the owner is responsible then if the tree?
I don't know how that works.
Yes, it is, Barbara.
Okay.
Any private property, it is the owner's
responsibility to
even though Department of Health can be called, and then the owner, depending on the issue, the owner will be told to purchase rat baits or whatever. But a tree pit on the street, and Chad, this has to be understood, they cannot put poison or to exterminate because of exposure to pets and people.
Right.
So they have to find another way to deal with that. And I don't know what the answer is right now.
Okay.
And thank you for that. And to your point, Betty, when I made a 311 call, it did go to the Department of Health. I'm not sure why it did. Maybe it had to do with the location, but Department of Health was the code used.
Right. That's the agency responsible for dealing with rats.
Yeah.
It's Department of Health. Yeah.
Right.
Even if it's a tree pit, but the issue of how do we address that seems complicated, but I think that's you raise a good point. How we deal with that when it's on the street, and how that's handled.
Okay.
So that's yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
Thank you.
You know what? When I took a couple of workshops that have to do with rat control, they always say the same thing. Always make sure that you go online or you call them up and just report where the rats are, whether it's on a tree pit, but as long as it gets documented first. And then let them, make that decision of which agency to contact, but it really should be reported first.
So it's a 311 call.
It's really a 311 first.
That's good to know. All right. Any other issues? I expect to see everybody this Sunday at the festival on Marshalloo Parkway. It's great having you at the meeting, but it's not the same as meeting in person. So please come out Sunday and join the festivities. If you're on the community board, we're going to be marching as we usually do since the festival is located within our district. And hopefully we will get to see everybody.
Barbara, what time is the event on?
I usually 12 o'clock it starts.
Because I have something early in the morning, so I want to make sure that I get back in time.
Yes,
I know that by the time we start marching, it seems like it's forever, but
I know we have to wait until the borough president gets up.
Correct.
They have a function at down on 161st Street prior to it.
Well,
But-
let's hope we have this new borough president is a little more punctual.
Okay, we'll see. But plan on 12 noon, and for the community board members, we meet at the westbound lanes, I'm sorry, and Hull Avenue. It's diagonally opposite the World War I monument, and I'm sure a notice will be coming out from the community board before Sunday. Okay, so thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. And
Sorry, what time are you meeting there?
about noon. It's usually about 12 o'clock, 11:45, 12 o'clock. So,
Thank you.
okay. Take care, everybody. Good seeing you again, and
good meeting.
Thank you. And Joe, thank you for joining us again, and we'll see everybody next month then. Good night.
Good night.
How do we get out of here? Oops.
Barbara, is still there?
Yes, I'm on.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, I got a request to present at the executive meeting, someone from the neighborhood advisory board. And I was going to email you, but then I figured, let me see if I can catch you. They're requesting to present for like 2 to 5 minutes to kind of like introduce themselves and what they do in the community and how they can work with the community board. Just want your thoughts on the agenda, or maybe we should give it some thought when we highlight the agenda as a whole.
Now, wait a minute now. They're coming to our executive committee meeting?
No. I wanted to ask you first, before making a suggestion to come on board to the executive. They've stated an interest in introducing themselves to the community board, because I know they have 2 minutes at the general meeting, but I was wondering if it would be possible, time-wise, if they could present for 2 to 5 minutes.
And they are coming from where?
The neighborhood advisory board. They have, they're a city agency. They deal with the youth.
Okay.
And
they didn't want to come to our youth meetings or one of our committee meetings?
What happened, the opportunity didn't present itself at the time, but we could have them meet at the youth meeting if they want to wait till June. But this is something that would be germane to everyone in the neighborhood if they wanted to be members or even participate in it. So I just wanted to gauge the interest and the logistics.
We're certainly interested in hearing them. I don't know about, the next executive committee meeting. I would have to get back to you on that.
Yeah, that's fine. And I just found this out right before I got on this meeting.
Okay, now they're an agency through Parks or through the city of New York? City of New York. Okay, and they work with young people?
Their main constituency is the youth. I myself, I'm actually a member of NAB.
Okay.
The Jetta, who used to be on the board, is also a member of NAB.
Okay.
So, it's something to consider.
Okay,
But-
and I'll get back to you, or somebody from Community Board 7 will get back to you.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks again for
All
being
right.
on tonight.
Oh, I didn't want to miss it at all. I had to
Okay.
make it.
Okay, take care.
All right. Take care. Be well. Bye.
Chad, you still up?
As long as the kids are up, I'll always be up.
Oh, okay.
I don't sleep.
Yeah.
I need to, but I don't.
Oh, that's hard, very hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
I think there's going to be some changes because the law is that by the end of next month, we have to be back to in-person meetings, so.
But the question is, where we'll be able to meet.
Well,
You
the
know?
general meeting's not gonna be a problem, because we've been rotating for years there. We've never met in the office. And we're gonna have to work out what we're gonna do with committee meetings. So that's something I will touch base with our district manager on and see what route we take.
Yeah, I know. I'm really concerned about that.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
really concerned.
it would make more sense to me if they started in September, but I think they want us to get our feet wet too. And since the city is asking other agencies to come back, you know, we're gonna be asked to come back too. So we'll see what happens.
You know what I see happening? I see committees choosing not to have a meeting in June.
Well,
I see that
this
happening.
committee is going to meet because this is the height of our season.
Oh,
And,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, definitely. So wherever we have to go, even if we have to meet in the park, which may be a solution, we'll do
Yeah,
it.
that sounds good to me.
Yeah,
I'll keep
why
an
not?
eye out.
Should be warm by then. So anyway,
Oh.
I'll probably be in touch before the next exec,
Okay.
and I'll see
And
you
I'll see you-
Sunday, hopefully.
No, no, I'll be there.
Oh,
The
good.
kids, they have something that they do every Sunday, especially my son. He has swimming and indoor soccer.
Mhm.
So they will miss it.
Oh,
They will
okay.
miss it.
All
So
right.
I'll be representing 4 of them.
Oh,
Me,
okay.
wife, and the 2 little munchkins.
Oh, all right, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.